All right. Good evening. What's up, Manny? You are first. That's facts. All right. Let's.
I would like to see the baby. I would like to see the baby.
How's it going, everybody? Good evening. What's up? All right. Oops. All right, everybody. We're gonna give people just a few seconds here. Go ahead and get started. What's up, Frank? How's it going, everybody? Good evening. Yep. I for sure. We'll check that one out. Let me give it a mark. Oh my goodness. Ouch. Got my whiteboard. So SLB. And I'm gonna ask, you know, to try and keep it to a minimum of, two takers per person just for time reasons, but I'm running a little bit behind, so I'm kind of having to set up things here a little late, so I apologize for that. Yeah, man, I just had a really late morning. Last night I was really busy. I've had some doctor's appointments to kind of screwed up my schedule. BA. Okay. I shorted BA. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. What if I just don't? Ooh, spooky. All right. Yeah, bear with me, guys. All right. So, um, we will. I'm just gonna try and keep tonight relatively brief. Um, I do want to talk about a couple of the setups that we took today, um, that ended up playing out pretty well. Um, and then some possible plays that I'm looking at going into tomorrow. So we'll keep it pretty short and sweet here. So let's do this really quickly over here. The daily on BA is interesting. We'll take a look at it, man. I saw it moving today. I didn't short it, like take a short position on it. I just scalped at the top, so nothing extreme. How's everybody's night so far? How's it going, Anna? All right, perfect. Okay, so um, just a recap of today. Uh, a lot of our swings that we took ended up playing out pretty well. A lot of the setups that we were looking at ended up playing pretty well. I did like if you guys were with us last night, or excuse me, yeah, last night. I told you guys I was looking at Roblox. That one did go make that move up to that volume shelf at 81.15. That's literally where it ended the day. So that was pretty cool. Sony, we swung those Sony calls and those ended up running, even going in the money. Most everybody TP'd those. I kept one just to see what would happen if it would gap up overnight, or if we'll end up pulling back. But the funny thing is I grabbed really cheap out of the money puts, so if it did happen to gap down, I could just get rid of those. So um, awesome. So we had the FOMC meeting today. Um, and I definitely want to talk about that just really quick. I know you guys want the charts, and I will give you the charts. Just give me 1 second. I want to go over this stuff because I think it's pretty important. Um, so really quickly. All right. So Most most stocks bounced back today. The Russell pulled up around 1.48%, adding to yesterday's gains. The Dow and the Nasdaq both increased about 1% or more. Energy stole the show. Energy ETF XLE exploded 3.8%, recovered nearly all of Monday and Tuesday's losses. Communications and utilities were today's losers. Bitcoin bounced back 6.9%, broke that 3-day losing streak, and Ethereum edged back over 3K. So the Federal Reserve kept interest rates near zero on Wednesday, but hinted, um, or excuse me, not on Wednesday, today's Wednesday, but hinted that the rate rises may come sooner than expected. The Fed also downgraded its economic forecast for the year. Amberella, or besides that, Amberella was pulled up around 10.4% after partnering with Dongfeng Motor Group to build a driver monitoring system. They were also upgraded to overweight by KeyBank. We also saw ARQQ up 12.8%, DVAX 26.45%. The closing prints for today, the S&P up 95.95%. That'd be sick. The Nasdaq up 1.02%. Nasdaq or Russell up 1.48%, and the Dow up 1%. So a nice bounce back. And I'll give you guys just a brief overview of all three ETFs so we don't have to waste our time here. So we'll start with the Qs. I keep getting logged out of this thing. I don't know why. I keep getting logged out of my account. All right, here we go. So, not to alarm anybody. So I'm gonna go to the daily here, show you guys kind of what we look like. Um, so we reached into the gap today. We actually cleared about 50% of that gap before rejecting and pulling back right around that level that I gave you guys, which was that 369.58, but nonetheless still a green day. Um, Kind of curious to see if we do end up closing that gap. Just because a gap stays above us, i.e. here, doesn't mean that it will get filled immediately. A lot of the time, sometimes that gap will be unaccounted for days or weeks or even months sometimes. So um, just kind of looking at it on the lower time frame, kind of looks like it's closing like a bear flag. But anywhere above these wicks that we saw today, 371.50 is where I'd like to see the Qs to potentially rebound. But SPY, same thing, literally the same hourly setup. If you look right here, kind of has that rising wedge look. So in my opinion, I'm a little bit bearish on it. Anywhere above 440, excuse me. I wouldn't mind taking it to the upside. You can see it had breakout volume today, but that ended up being almost just deadpan dojis right there. Really no progress either way. That being said, SPY below 3. There's a fly in here. It's driving me nuts. 436. Oh, it's a moth. Oh, that's because I have a bright light here. 436.25. If we close below there, I will likely potentially take SPY and the gang to the downside. So SPY didn't quite fill. I think it may have filled the gap, but oh shit, I'm on live. Hold on one second. The charting software, this is TradingView. The link is in my bio for that. Yes, I am going to make that intrinsic value video. Also, link is in the bio. I'm on YouTube right now. So, and we're going to keep it shorter tonight, not so long. But anyway, guys, that's my short entry potentially, with the first target 436, and then potentially breaking to the downside to that 432 level. IWM, keep it brief. Same thing. I don't want to repeat myself over and over. This thing, same thing here, guys. It's also up against resist downtrend, excuse me, on IWM. So a rising wedge up to downtrend seems like a bull trap to me, but I could be wrong, could bias. I'll just take it above high of day. You can also see right here the exact same level that we rejected, like almost like a robot. So many wicks. That's where we rejected today. So pretty clear where that fight will be. Okay, the Dow tried to go for that small gap fill, didn't quite retest that downtrend. It could reverse a little bit tomorrow and go try to fill that gap, potentially test downtrend. So um cool. All right. Cool. Thank you guys for dropping those stickers. So far we got we got SLB BA. um I think, did you say HYB? HYB. Um, Uber. Yeah, Uber is a pain, man. Close right on that one. Sophie. Yo, so I actually took a position on Sophie today. It's pretty cheap, but all right, Sophie MTTR. Diz and Lucid. I'm writing this on my whiteboard. All right. I'm taking all requests are taken on YouTube. So if you guys have any requests, link is in the bio for those of you on TikTok right now, or right here. So you guys will be able to see me and see my chart. Uh, Tony said you need CZR NIM. All right, we're gonna close in on a cap here because I can't be on too late tonight. Working on some stuff. All right, got the Dow. All right, so you guys kind of got an idea of what we're looking at there. Roblox, Microsoft, Lulu. So let me just make sure I have something to take a picture of. Roblox, Lulu, and Microsoft are on watch for me tomorrow. Sophie as well. And there we go. I'll update you guys on my watch list tomorrow. I'll actually post it in the Discord, as well as the Patreon tonight. So, what do you think? Well, what do you think we will have a red day tomorrow because it's is red? Do you think we will have a red day? It's not out of the question, Tyler. Sorry, I read that wrong. And I'll make this quick. So I see a rising wedge, guys. I'll make it very clear. I see a reversal pattern, a bearish reversal pattern in this setup here, right? And at the when the shorts come in, look at the volume skyrocket. Wouldn't that make for a great average? Even if you allow for one more tap, which that tap will likely come at 440.25. 440.25. Mark it down. If this fly doesn't just dissipate or moth or whatever it is, just turn it to dust, I'm gonna end the live. I'm just kidding. 440.24. That's the south. So that's my mark there. 440.24. If it rejects that mark, then yes, I think we could potentially have a red day. We've got a damp, wet blanket over us. I know that the news was relatively bullish. I will take it. I will take it as it comes. So if it clears 440.24, pattern blown, no reversal, well, maybe we see 442.15, and I'll leave it at that. Okay. Um, Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the charts. SLB, a lot of SLB requests. Oh, never mind, it's Frank. I got you, Frank. I just realized it was the same as you. Um, Alrighty, so SLB Schlumberger. Jeez, Louise, get VWAP out of here. Why is VWAP look so? Yeah. All right. So this doesn't matter. A downtrend's been broken. Sorry, I have the Chris thing on. Thank you. Um, okay. There's a little deviation there. And maybe a small gap. Looks like you have a very, very small gap there to $28. So you have a small gap. Um, So I would say getting through and above that gap, the nearest moving average you have there for me is the 50. I do see some respect in that moving average there. Actually, not knowing anything about this, you can see multiple bounces and then that flush through the 50. So trying to get above that 50, same thing there. So that would be the 28.50 mark on SLB. Cheers. Um, link is in the bio. All right, sorry about that. So anyway, I would be expecting a break above $28, a push to that 28.45. If you can get above that 50-day moving average on the daily, I think that would be the nearest goal. On the broad scheme of things, like looking out on the daily for a long term, I honestly, I I'll take a. I mean, I don't know if you're bullish on it. I don't know. Just looking at the technicals, just the technicals, you could potentially consider that a head and shoulders. Potentially, you don't really have a ton of shoulder work, but you still, if you look right here, you still hit the same peak, right around that same price zone. So that anywhere below 26 bucks. Um, Put that vodka down and stay focused. I can't, comrade. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we got SLB, Sandy Lulu Bravo, as they say on Benzinga. All right, now we got BA. We'll, we'll get you out of there. I'm just kidding, man. Um, all right, so luckily I already have this charted. Let's see here. I say luckily I have this charted and then adjust my glasses and laugh. That was pretty sweet. So I actually, this is really bullish. First of all, I don't think yeah, you did. You closed your gap. So you had a really, really, really small gap there. Um, but this looks like a correction. So you can see two candles below support and then an immediate reversal back up. So I would imagine, right, climbing back up to this little zone right here. So I'll mark that out. That mark is at 222.20. So 222.20. I don't know if news is bullish right now towards Boeing. I think NIM is better buy with better dividend. Good morning. Let's get this bread. You're the goat. Thanks. You're the goat, man. So 221.50 would be the goal there. And then right above that 222.50, another dollar move. Right. Okay, so this is really interesting. This chart's interesting to me. The reason why it's interesting is because you guys know I talk about all the time. If you guys have never heard me talk about this or you're new, um, I use the 50, the 20, and the 200-day EMA. I don't know why I did in that order. But the 200-day EMA, and if you don't know what a moving average is, it's just literally exactly that. It's a moving average. So 200 days of closing price data figured into a line. That's why it takes longer to react, but it's stronger support, stronger resistance. So right here, right, this middle line in this pattern, right, that would be, and inside of a channel, it would be called a linear regression line. But in this case, with that like, and I'm trying to think of an example, so let me just show you really quick. So with, oh my god, why do you do this to me? Look at what it did to Microsoft. I didn't do that. Okay, maybe here. Okay, so check this out, right? So the QQQ is in a giant channel, and if you draw a line down the middle, etc., there you go. So that's a linear regression line. That's a sloppy one, but that's kind of what I'm talking about there. So on VA, even though it's a kind of it's not a channel, this, if you split that pattern in half, my rule of thumb with that is I want to consolidate on the top half of that, what, and I would call this still a linear regression line. So and that's not like in a book or anything like that. I've told people that, I'm not, it's just something that I have picked up over time. And you'll see when I go back out to that daily time frame that the 200-day EMA is almost dead center right along there. So that is the nearest and like strongest target above you, 224.50 at the moment. And that's where BA needs to get to in order to have a chance to break out, really, because you've had this one, two, you've hit this resistance and just dropped every single time. Here, not so strong, but here immediately, really, really strongly, really, really strongly. So that would be where I'd be anticipating Boeing going. HYB, sorry, I need water. 305 monkey. I gotta do it in order, my G. So that is consolidating here on the 50-day EMA. If this is the correct one, HY, yeah. To be honest with you, I would be expecting a retest. Okay, so anytime a moving average that has very little data, right? So the 9-day moving average or six, something like that. Right now I'm using the 9. If it's lagging behind the price, oftentimes you're either going to consolidate until it catches up, or you're going to go back up and reject it. So at the moment, you'll notice that it's around 956. I would anticipate it to move right down to that 955, where you could potentially see a head and shoulders. That looks inappropriate. And then potentially a drop to the downside. Otherwise, I would figure the same exact thing. If you can open a daily candle or push a strong daily candle off that 50-day moving average and close above somewhere like 959, somewhere in there, um, that's potentially where you could see some sort of reversal. I would hope for some type of bottom out like that. Um, but I'm just using these stupid lines, but you get what I'm saying. Okay, so potential head and shoulders there, but if you can hold that 50-day EMA right there, hopefully you can consolidate and then kind of curl back up. But all right, so H5B Uber. Yeah. All right, hold on one second. Okay. Um, so the same thing that I said before will probably reign true here as well. The 9-day moving average is at $40.75. Sorry guys, I'm a little stuffy right now. Okay. $40.75, 50-day EMA, $41.16. That which is abnormal. You don't want the 9 underneath the 20, excuse me. Um, so seeing this candle right here, this candle, if you're doing candle analysis and using your EMAs, this 200-day EMA, that's where we get a bearish rejection candle. That doesn't mean that it's a complete reversal, but the unfortunate thing is that we have a gap beneath us. So I think tomorrow, a place like $44.35 could be a potential place to short Uber to the downside. Now it's been listed as a potential buy, right? And that's only if the markets are not looking well, like if we're pulling back, because it would be likely that we would potentially go and fill a gap that's so near to us, if we did have a reversal off of that 20. But if you're doing candlestick analysis, you push to $46.50 and then you pull back all the way to your open, right? So this candle is flat, gravestone, almost gravestone. Um, and so that's in my opinion kind of a reversal candle there. So and you are building a bit of a like 1 hour head and shoulders as well. So I would say below $44.61, you're likely going to start trending to the downside with the target of $43.12, which would be a retest of that downtrend as well. So um yeah, kind of what I'm thinking there. Um, all right, so we got Uber, Crocs. All right. Okay. So do the JPEL call. Okay, so you're getting pretty close to what looks to be this top trend line, which could actually be adjusted. You see it's actually a little high. There we go. So that's why you have two fake outs there. So this looks like a cleaner line there. Let me go to the 4 hour. We'll make sure that we got this clean. Okay, that looks good. All right, so we'll use the 4 hour in this instance. This is this is one of those plays that I would definitely let come to you. So above 148, I would say that you could look for a test of this trend line right here. That's sitting around, and I'm trying to make sure that I have this. There we go. I think that's more accurate. I'm looking at this top trend line here. So looking at that target, right? That's 161.25. So you could see that 163 right here, somewhere in this 163 to even 162.75 range, somewhere in there. And at that point, I would set an alert on this trend line and wait for a potential reversal below 157 57.60 for a potential return back down to support. And I'm not sure what that will look like. And if it doesn't, okay, so if it ends up not doing so, and then establishes a trend line to the downside. So once you get that major rejection candle like this, that's where you can potentially start looking to pull that downtrend down. So can you tell Hood? Yeah, Hood had a great day. The crypto wallet news seemingly did really well for them. So how do you learn from a beginner level? What would you consider to be your beginner level? Like you do you know what a stock is? Do you know what options are? Like the basics? All right, so we got Uber, Crocs, Sophie. Oh, real quick. Reversal would likely okay, so if we do trend up, the reversal would be here, right? So below 158.50 would I would say it would be a reasonable target. So watch for this thing to and yeah, I don't really think it would break out, but above 160. Yeah, this thing's got to pull back. I imagine Crocs will pull back around 163 if it gets there. So, but you have one. I think you have one more push to around 162.50 where you may pull back and then tap that 163 mark. So, we'll see. I think we just stay in this pocket. So we may end up like trending up very slightly in stocks and just finishing the bull traps and then starting a downtrend. I still am bearish, guys. I don't know why. I'm a hyper bear, ADHD bear. All right, Sophie. So Sophie was the shit. If you guys caught weeklies or you guys caught, I took a really long call on Sophie. This one's unchartable as regard in regards to the like a downtrend or anything like that. But I go to the daily am potentially anticipating. Now this is a stretch, but okay. So that is kind of what I'm thinking. The reason why I'm thinking that is because the angle coming off the top of these highs. So do you guys see how there there's basically a higher low or a lower high, and then you drop down. And so I'm using the angle of that lower high, and it just so happens that's where we hit today. and we hit that $17 mark. And it was a really, really, really nice, strong push off of the 50-day EMA. So here's the warning with Sophie, because it is easily manipulated. It has a gap. You guys see that 1530. If we end up reversing, and I would say that reversal would occur below 1650, you're likely going to head back down and drop down to that support, probably somewhere around 1475. Yeah, I'll do that. Yes, basics. Uh, my Discord link, the educational free part, the link is in the bio, and it has a step by step that you can go and check out if you want. See if it works for you. Um, to be honest with you, I'm looking at the 15-minute. I'm a bear. So look at right here, right? So we have that ascending triangle. It looks like it's gonna to potentially break out, but use the same setup. Don't be too biased. If you end up breaking out and reversing below that 1685, drop down to that 1650. So look for this to potentially reverse if it does. All right, so we got Sophie MTTR. What the hell is this? What happened here? That's forming a giant rounded bottom, and that's about it. You can use for something like this. A lot of the times you can use pivot points. So do you see how accurate like the wicks are? Right, you get like 2 wicks pretty much off of that R4. So basically, for me, is I like to close a daily candle, bullish daily candle above that R4 for your next trip up to what would be 14 or 24 79. If you don't have trading view, the indicator is the pivot. You can use pivots traditional, and that just gives you, it's actually pretty clean, and you can do it on the daily. You can do it on any time frame, and it's pretty good. It can make a lot of people use different settings like Fibonacci or um, either one work. I mean, it depends on your trading style. You can kind of explore, and there is no like specific one that I um, have like seen like an incredible difference in, I guess, when it comes to higher time frame setup. So, um, yeah, I'll add CVS. Medikirk, that's the weirdest thing I've read all night. All right, so Diz dropped down to that 200-day EMA. This one got smoked. Um, let's see here. I I'll keep it simple. I honestly, that I mean, this is more attractive to me as a potential short. I mean, if you want my honest opinion, um, that's kind of what I see right there. I see a bear flag forming, so I would like to take Disney to the downside. I'm gonna mark that down. All right. Um, daily time frame. You are on the 200-day EMA, so back below that 172.50, and then hope in hopes of a reversal anywhere above 175 candle close. You could hope for a potential retest of some of the levels that you broke, but honestly, that looks pretty bearish to me. So, all right, it's now 11, um, 9, oh, 9:12. Sophie. I got that one. MTTR, Disney, Lucid. All right. That's pretty bearish. Okay, so this would constitute as a dark cloud cover. So basically you gap up. Let me double check that. Yep, where those EMAs are. Yeah, so you double top, okay? And this is a reversal candle. So a dark cloud cover is where you gap up and you lose more than 50% or 50% of the previous day's gains. And so this would definitely count as a dark cloud cover candle. And so that's a reversal candle. I would expect you to start going to meet with your nearest bullish moving averages, which are sitting around $22. So start trending back down to around 23.50 would be my nearest target. 22.85 as well. What age do I plan on retiring? I don't ever think I'll retire. I'll always be doing something. Not to make money, maybe, but just doing something. I don't know. We'll see what the body looks like when I get older. So I did great today. Uber slapped my hand at the end of the day, but it is what it is. So anyway, with Lucid, yeah, you can even see almost making that weak bear flag. Um, I would hope for a reversal above 25.75 if I'm wrong. If I'm right, I would hope for more downtrend below 24, before below this low of day here. And I would set the target there at 23.35. So this previous supply demand zone, or yeah, demand zone. I get them mixed up terribly, and I know them well, but I just mix them up all the time. Um, how do you recommend novices to get started with technical analysis? Go study basic reversal patterns on daily time frames and go and try and identify them. And when you go and look at reversal patterns, like pictures of them, charts of them, whatever the case may be, line graphs, whatever ones pop out to you, write them down and go try and find them, or just keep your eyes out for them, and then chart them when you see them, and things will start to make a little bit more sense. So, okay, Lucid, SCR. Okay, Caesars Entertainment. This one kind of double topped a little bit as well. That's not, I wouldn't even maybe, eh, kind of a double top. At least you have a clean trend line here. So you do have a nice trend line. That's something you can be happy about. Let's see. Is that yours? Okay, so I don't know if this is exactly correct because this is kind of ugly movement here, but I would just leave it at this. If this thing clears this wick, which honestly this wick is pretty bearish in my opinion, I would anticipate, one above 112.35, um seeing continuation. And that's pretty basic, but this kind of more or less looks pretty bearish to me, more like you don't see a very strong rejection or continuation after that rejection, but you do have a lot of that initial push up taken away. So the MACD does look as if it's going to roll over to the downside and give you that sell signal. The RSI is creeping up just a little bit towards that oversold, not quite there, but we have seen it hover. And actually, if you go look, you can see the RSI is working the same way here, same way there. So you could see a similar setup there as well. So I would look at this support line as a break in trend and take it. I would probably look at taking that one below 106.50 or well, I would actually say above this where this wick is 107.75. And I'm not talking weekies on weekies. I'm talking like going out, a couple weeks or something. Looks kind of bearish, but if I'm wrong, like I said, above that previous high of day. Roblox, yeah, we're Kid Kane beats that one's of the moving averages 250.29 MA. I use the 2050 200 EMA, and I use the 9-day moving average. Explore those moving averages on different time frames on different stocks and see wicks where you see the most respect. You'll start to see things trip out. That would be sick. All right. Caesars. Of course, not a problem. Shoot me a message if you need to, okay, man? Hopefully my videos that I send you are better than I know sometimes I'm not always presentable, but hopefully they work. Have a good night, man. All right. Bullish tomorrow. Maybe for a little bit, but no, I don't know. I'll show you. If you go back to the beginning of this where I went over SPY, I showed you what I saw on SPY and gave you my. I try to always come into the day unbiasedly, so I don't really like flip a coin. I used to give it for my like in the morning I had a bull and a bear toy. I don't know where the bear went. If I ever find him, I think that's when the bear season will really, really return. But so far the bull has only made it. But I used to give it to my daughter, and whichever one she threw on the ground would be the one. Obviously, the one she held would be the one that would be the pick for the day. So, no, I'm just kidding. Well, we actually did that, but it was a joke. All right. Is that NEM? I think it's NEM. Newmont Corporation. Ooh, that's ugly. Kind of. Let's go look at the daily. uh, yeah, that's a correction there. That's why you have such a big short because people were anticipating. That's how they get retail. All right. Newmont. So definitely chilling in that channel there. That's bearish. You got that hammer. Um, and sitting right next to that doji too. 50 or hourly setup. A lot of these wedges, man, everywhere. So I don't know if that support's not the prettiest, but look at that. So you get shorted pretty hard. You shot back up pretty strong for that third tap of support. And it's so funny. I bet so many shorts got scared out of those shorts, but scared out of their shorts. But that's such a funny term. 54 50 to the downside with the first immediate target of 54 even. That's a little gap fill there. And then of course that low. And you can see that there's obviously this channel, right, that you bounce off of. So watch that same channel bottom, and I can't like give you exact projections. It's not going to fall straight through the roof, but you could end up seeing, somewhere in that $53 price mark. Awesome. I'll go over Roblox in just a minute. All right, so let me go back up because I missed a few. SPWR. And if you guys ever like if I ever chart something and you guys watch it the next day, you don't have to like post it anywhere, but if you guys will DM me, and sometimes I completely forget, but sometimes I like to see how those things played out, and a lot of times I'll chart something and then way later on people will like ask me again what I think of it, and I'll see that it's like stayed inside of the whole chart, and it'll be like, whoa, like it's just cool to look at. I do really enjoy technical analysis, so. I was wondering why my views were so low on TikTok. My phone was almost dead. All right. Anyway, excuse me. Hopefully, I just didn't blow your ears out. Okay. Anyway, so let's look at sun power. First of all, wow, do a lot of talking. Um, sorry, y'all. Oh, well, lose my voice. Okay, so right now, we just that sneeze just took half the life of me. 2050, 2045. That or I just became a man. Sounds kind of cool. No, just kidding. 2045. That's where I would anticipate further downside. You can obviously see that's a support across the board. So if you throw that up right there. One thing that did happen is you did get a break in downtrend. That's a good thing. It did come out of what looks to be a reversal pattern. So it looks like it has that reversal. So it may be where news just comes in and this thing screams to the upside, right? That may be. The first target would be 24, 23. Um, if that was the case. So, um, hold on one second. There we go. But in this case, the good thing is you can either get into like a straddle, or set up like a leap, a speculative position. But the boundaries here, or your resistance right now, is that 2250, 2260 range. It looks like 2285 is where the daily 50-day EMA is, and you can see there was a rejection off of that moving average pretty quickly. So let that trade come to you. I would set an alert there. Absolutely. And then below, right? So we have the TTM squeeze kind of firing off. Good bounce here, decent bounce, low volume. But if you go below that 2050, you're likely gonna move to that 1985, and then potentially even further to the downside signal. Oh, sorry, I read somebody sent me the word signal. No, you didn't miss you. Yes, I realized my thing went down. All right, so Sun Power. There you go. It's probably waiting news, so don't sleep on that one. Set lots of alerts on it, and maybe just find some cheap out of the money options. You know what I might do? I might tomorrow, SPWR. You know what I may do? I may open up a straddle, or even a strangle, or both. A straddle strangle. on SunPower. I don't know if I'll get this straddle, but we'll see. Um, yeah, of course. Um, there we go. Um, so when you take a position to the upside and the downside in anticipate, so you're with a strangle, you're gonna sit right outside of the money usually, on both to the up and the downside. A lot of people set those up on earnings sometimes. And then with the strangle, a lot of the times you'll go with the same um same or with the strangle you go with the same strike price calls puts, and then with straddle, you'll go outside of the money, um and play it speculatively that way. um so C3 AI, we got somebody who's pretty hyped up on C3 AI. C3 AI. All right. Sorry, I was reading your comments. All right. Crocs, Disney. Did I look at Disney? I did. Did I look at Lucid too? Yeah, I did. Okay, I just want to make sure. SLB, we looked at that one. Yep, same channel there. Same thing with both of those. All right. Costco. So earnings hit, or earnings coming up, no? When is that for Costco? Let's find out tomorrow. Okay, so here's the thing. It's after the bell. Probably gonna find something to get into on Costco. What? No, I actually really like this stock for speculation play. But where did my chart go? There it is. Um, I don't want to chart or go too much into this because the thing about earnings is no matter what I say, earnings is going to just crush it, right? So you can only really hope to set price marks on it, right? So a difficult earnings would probably have you, I would say, around 440, 250. That's where I would expect Costco to tap. That's on a bad earnings. On a good earnings, I would just like the moderate target of 460. Like that would be the 9-day moving average is there. So 463, somewhere around there. Go to the hourly here. You have a bearish type setup here. Definitely not a good look. But again, you're running into earnings. So nothing I say matters if that makes sense, I guess. Because Costco could be like, we're making a muffin EV, like, and who knows what happens after that. they go to 5,000. All right, so let's get obviously Tesla. So I actually said this the other day, and I was like, yo, it's probably gonna be wrong on this one. And after this last bounce here and rejection, I think people actually did try and take I think a short stepped up here to try and pull Tesla back into this pattern and reverse it down, and it didn't go. So if you just pull all that nonsense out, um, go look at the daily. So it's very obvious that 765 is a the first and nearest, I guess, target for Tesla. And that's if we continue to trend to the upside. It does look like there's a gap to fill. And I'll go down to the hourly here. No, so this is in pre-market. No, that's at the open. So this gap is filled. So that gap was already filled, and now it's just heading to the upside. So right now, looking at the hourly and that 500 HMA, look at the respect on that moving average. Do you see this? Look at how many rejections that you see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6, right? Get a few bounces here. So I would anticipate that moving above that mark there, 756.88, and then of course pushing up to 763, 764.50, that range right there. And then you can start talking about a potential breakout. All of this happening on low volume except for that. But then that was a giant short. So okay. What is a good sign of a breakout after what is a good sign of a breakout after it crosses the 200-day EMA, i.e., does the volume need to be high? Accumulation of volume. It depends on where the chart is at. So if it's well underneath the 200-day EMA and it's accumulating down underneath that type of moving average, then absolutely, you could potentially um, look at that as breakout power, because you might not see like immediate giant volume, but you will see that accumulation of volume. So rising volume over time is still good volume when you're trying to get above a 200-day EMA. But I like to use the 50-29-day moving average crossover. My favorite setup is when the all of those moving averages, right, look kind of like that. So actually, I would say this is a good example, except for the setup here or the price actions just kind of boo boo. But other than that, this is a good crossover. So and that's really a buy signal right there, a strong one, But how do I add the shadow on my volume? Uh, that's a good question. Let me remember together. Sorry, I wish I remembered. Oh, geez. I'm not looking at the right thing. There we go. Okay, so go to volume MA. I was like, what the hell? This doesn't look correct. Area right there. So you can choose area with breaks, which doesn't affect it, but Yeah, that's how you do that. Play BA weeklies or just go out to December and Jan and give it time. I wouldn't even go that long. I don't know. Um, I'd have to look at it tomorrow. And honestly, I want to see the market in general. I mean, if for a support bounce, you I think comfortably could make your way up to around, the 230s by the end of December. So I mean, it's probably not terrible, but I would have a strong stop loss on that one, probably anywhere back inside of that volume or that zone here. So anywhere back in the 215s is where I would anticipate pullback. So or cutting something like that if it was my setup. So all right. All right, so you did break out and then you had earnings and you dumped, fell right back in, and now you've seemingly climbed back up. And you did have this crazy doji candle here. You're still not out of the woods because you haven't broken really above that 200-day EMA. You can see the respect in that 200-day EMA right here. So I would like you to wick fill to 1455. I don't know what happened here or what the volatility or like what the catalyst is. Um, but you're gonna need to see a little bit more distance with the volume that you have. So you're not even seeing any decent price range or decent pushes when you have these decent pushes up in volume. So um, I'm not really sure exactly what the fundamentals are on this. So that's probably where I would be more focused on a stock like this. Knowing that it's trying to break downtrend, it'd be kind of interesting to know why. So and then APPS. I already have APPS charted, and you broke out today. So nice on that. Looks like you have room to run. Go look at the RSI on previous breakouts. Sometimes I like to go line up. You can go throw this up right here. Check that out. So I would keep that line on your RSI. The volume today was above that MA. That volume MA, that shadow there, that looks good. Um, you pushed off the 9-day EMA and you had a EMA crossover. So again, one of my favorite setups right there. You get that crossover. You're sitting, as long as you stay above those bullish moving averages, you're good. And then you break above that little zone. Beautiful. Push right off. So the next target's probably going to end up being somewhere near that $75 mark, is where I'd be anticipating to see a PPS. So CBS. All right, I got a few more minutes, guys, and I'm gonna shut it down. All right, that's a Head and Shoulders. Looks like on the daily. Um, I would be anticipating a pullback to 70, basically $80. Look at the 200-day EMA. I would expect for this thing to creep up, and this right here to be your downtrend, and this right here Come here. Shit. Potentially to be your. There we go. So I wouldn't say it's going to be a dead drop, but you could end up. That's speculatory. The support is purely speculatory. Purely speculatory. It doesn't have to hold in within that. That's just me looking at this wick and looking at that. I've seen that setup before. So that's just time me kind of instinctually kind of seeing that. So you could anticipate, right? And then maybe even, some chopping wherever that ends up meeting. But that would be a big reversal pattern if it was. So I'm gonna leave that there. That's my thoughts. TMC. Oh my god. You did well. Yeah, you did, dude. I was to the dump. Ouch. Ow. So now that you're at lows, like honestly, maybe you could throw pivot points. That's honestly, I would be looking at S2, $4, $5. So psychological numbers, whole numbers. That's where I would be watching. Um, so yeah, definitely looked like it wants to pull back more. So FLL long. How do you? Yeah, okay, I got that one. Any other questions? CVNA. Am I trading Forex? Negative Ghost Rider. Ooh, look at that. Full House Resorts. I've been there to the Full House house. It's pretty cool. You know what? That looks pretty cool. So you actually have a nice broken downtrend here. You got a little fake out there. But you did finally break downtrend. I think you're building a zone to potentially bounce out of. So that nice bound bottom, nice rounded bottom, but hopefully potentially breaking to the upside past that 925. Oh my god, my mouth is so dry. The gravy. Yeah, of course. I know you printed, dude. That thing needs some milk. Yeah, that actually kind of looks good for a reversal, to be honest with you. Um, Hopefully COVID restrictions don't mess that up. But I would say, like I said, 925, and I think you're honestly it looks good now. As a speculative play. It looks good. I like that bottom. Obviously the buyers are holding that level up. So DBI, sorry if I missed that. I know you asked that already. Oh wait. Oh, I already did that one. But I'll do it again really quickly. So yeah, so this level that you see above here, so honestly, it looks a little bit like it's going to reject. So that rejection below 1360 DBI will continue to the downside. I would want to see a wick fill above 1450. Um, so Jack ACMR, ASMR. There'll probably be a stock for ASMR one day. Should I do stock ASMR videos? Order filled. Order rejected. Oh, jeez. My broker's a robot. So this was absolutely just ouch, rough. So support here, definitely at resistance now. You're pushing up against that 9-day moving average right here. So basically, at the next reversal candle, you're likely going to start heading back down to around $91.75. If you rebound and get back up above 105, you can start trending to the upside potentially. But anywhere above this 10, looks like 108. I just say 110, above 110 candle close on the daily, you could see some decent upside from there. So if it's a research company, then fundamentals have a lot to do with that as well. So it could, bad news can come out, it can absolutely sink to $86. uh all right, YouTube. um I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night. I will see you guys tomorrow morning. I will not be late. Hopefully I will see you guys there. And we can hopefully see some of these plays that we just looked at come to fruition. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Have a good night.